Around the world, 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 around the
Hello everybody, team members all over the planet. It's such an exciting time to be in New York City this weekend because we have all these team members with us. So we're doing the third episode of GEMCash Live here in New York City, and we're going to introduce the team members who have joined us, and some of them by coincidence are in New York City this weekend. Okay, so we'll start over here on this end. Okay, say hello.
Hello, I'm Bill Lang. Hi, I'm Sam Massaquoi, Gem Trust Community member. I'm a supervisor for the Southern Region of Africa.
Hello, I'm Alpha Sina, supervisor for South Africa.
Hi, my name is Godfrey Mahinga, supervisor for the eastern part of Africa. Glad to be here.
Hello, my name is Kathy, and I am manager for the United States.
Hello, my name is Michaela, and I'm manager for the Czech Republic.
Hi everybody, Gabriel from manager of Switzerland.
Okay, terrific. All right, so we're going to be cutting off right now and going to the PowerPoint. So you'll watch the PowerPoint demonstrating the information about GEMVault and all the technologies. And when we cut back, we're going to show you the GEMVault close up and personal so you can see the technologies that you just saw in the PowerPoint. We're going to talk about the GEMVault quickly. All the anti-tampering, anti-forgery security systems that's included in the GEMVault. Here's our GEMVault, and here are the 9 security measures that are verifiable with a smartphone. First is the carbon fiber construction. The carbon fiber case makes GEMVaults difficult to reproduce. The tamper alert window. The window is treated with tamper-proof film that reads void if it's penetrated. The security spacers. Security spacers randomly placed create a unique pattern identifiable with a smartphone. The GIA and RAP report certified diamonds. Laser inscribed diamonds are both GIA and RAP certified as investment grade. Registered forever on the GEMCash blockchain. GEMVaults are permanently and irreversibly registered on our international blockchain. The unreproducible QR code. The QR code is impossible to copy, duplicate, or reproduce. The microtag security. Microtags with traceable IDs are placed inside the sealed diamond reservoir. The encrypted NFC chip. An encrypted chip inside the GEMVault can be scanned by a smartphone to identify if it's a real GEMVault or not, and also to identify how much the GEMVault has in GEMCash, which is stored on the NFC chip. Diamond ID tracer dust. The carbon fiber case is permeated with the traceable diamond dust. Again, this can be verified with your cell phone, so you don't need any specialized equipment to know whether your GEMVault is authentic, to know the value of your GEMVault, to know who owns your GEMVault, and to be able to sell the GEMVault that you're holding on to and scanning with your smartphone. Finally, all GEMVaults are secured at Brinks and managed by an international law firm that will handle exactly who they get shipped to, who has sent in GEMCash to receive a redeemable GEMVault, and they control everything. This is in the hand of a law firm as the trustee to all the GEMVaults. This was our GEMVault,
and all the technologies that make it impossible to reproduce or forge or duplicate in any way whatsoever.
Okay, so we're back, and you've seen the PowerPoint showing the different technologies of the GEMVault. Now, with all the team members here, I'm going to point out a few of the 9 different layers of technology. What's important to know is that we only need 1 or 2 layers to keep some Iranian from copying this, some Ukrainian in his basement from copying this. But I put in all the technologies because a lot of what digital currency and the market wants is the perception that they're safe. So we want to give them the perception that they're beyond safe, that nobody can duplicate this, okay? Because the reality is that nobody can duplicate this, okay? So let me point out first thing, this case has been left open and they're not designed to be open, so it could come apart. They're designed to be hermetically sealed and you can never reopen it. So let's talk about the carbon fiber first. I chose carbon fiber for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's 10 times stronger than steel. Now, with all the technologies, it could be just a little piece of plastic. It wouldn't matter, you know, because it can't be reproduced. But I wanted the impression that this thing is incredibly safe. It's a vault and it's locked up for life. Okay, so we chose carbon fiber. Also, carbon fiber gives it a richness, you know. That's what's used in sports cars and in space and different things like that. So we chose carbon fiber. So it's 10 times stronger than steel. The first technology I want to talk about is the QR code. This QR code is a technology that comes from a company in London that I know the principles of. And once this QR code is produced, this QR code is then photographed, and we have that photograph in our database, and you will have that photograph in all your apps, okay? And once you take a picture of this vault, all 9 technologies will register if they've checked out and if it's an original vault and it hasn't been forged or duplicated, okay? And this QR code can never be removed, but even if it was removed from there, it would be damaged. And you can never recopy that and rephotograph it to put it on there. It's one time only, and it can't be gotten across. The other thing here is this technology. This is a number that we put on the blockchain. This is its blockchain number. And once it's there, you can't reproduce it, and you can't move it. It's there for life. The last layer before carbon fiber is made by hand also. This could have been a platinum case or made of silver or made of steel or aluminum, but that would have been machine made. Each one of these GEMVault cases is handmade, 1 layer at a time. It's laborious, it's expensive, and it gives the whole thing a very high-end feel. Could have been a metal box, right? So, and when they put the last layer of resin to give it that gloss, there's 3 layers of resin, but that right before they put the last layer, we sprinkle diamond dust, actual diamond dust, from a company in France that's developed wavelengths of dust that when you take a picture of it, you'll actually be able to see, or your app will be able to tell if it's the right wavelength. So for several runs, we'll use one wavelength, then we'll change the wavelength, then we'll change the wavelength. So you would have to figure out which wavelength we used, even if you were able to get the diamond dust, okay? So that's another technology. So we've covered 3. The diamonds themselves are all laser inscribed at GIA. And instead of putting it hidden along the side, I'm having them laser inscribed right in the face. First of all, even if you use this as a ring, which you're never going to do, because it loses its value once you take these diamonds out. Okay, they still have the diamond value, but that's not all that this is about. This is about the vault value, the diamond value, and the GEMCash value. So nobody would take that out. But if they were to take it out, they could put it on a ring. But if you loop the front of this, you can see the numbers from GIA right inside, and they can never be changed, never be altered, never be removed. Permanently, okay? And because these diamonds, their certificates are kept with us in escrow, even if you stole these vaults, you couldn't do anything with it. You could give it to your cousin for him to put, because he's gay, he wants to put one in his left ear, okay? You could give it to your wife for a ring, but you can't sell it, can't make money, because the certificates are never released. They're only central. And once these are stolen, we just report it with GIA, it can never be resold. ever be resold. Nobody would ever buy it, okay? Because a diamond is only good if it has a certificate. If it doesn't, it's worth nothing. It's a piece of glass, all right? So we're gonna go inside now for me to show you a few other technologies. Now, one crazy thing I did is that I put clay inside here. And this clay is not a technology at all. This clay is for our monkey brains. We like to touch things. We like shiny things, okay? And we like things that weigh because it seems like it's value. It's like it's more food. If the bag, there's more substance. So I put clay in here, no technology, just so it weighs more. Because no matter how expensive a diamond is, a 100-carat diamond weighs nothing. It's crazy. It weighs like a grape. You know, it weighs nothing. So I put that in there. Another technology, and this is ours, is we have these little soldiers, I call them. And this is like a piece of jewelry. Every time the jeweler sets these, he sets it a little bit different than the last time he set it. So if he set it now, and then he set another one, and he set another one, and this is setting being done at a jewelry factory. So this is just like a fine piece of jewelry. Okay, it's not being made at a stamped out in China. Jum, 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 jum. This is hand put in here. And the little soldiers, they can move from side to side. Once they're in place, we take a high resolution picture of it, and then we draw a mathematical algorithm to know exactly where it was placed. So if somebody ever tries to reproduce this, they can never match that because it's unique. It's more than a fingerprint. It's like DNA. So you can never reproduce that, okay? So these are all these layers. Then we have micro tags. There's a liquid that goes in here that's liquid when it goes in, and then when we shine a UV light on it, it hardens, and it holds the diamonds in place and the little soldiers in place. Now they can't be moved. And then we also sprinkle this with these things called micro SD IDs. So they're little ID tags that say GEMCash on them, microscopically, that can be picked up with a cell phone, okay? So those are some of the layers of technology, but this is the most important thing. Inside here is actual GEMCash. So if this is worth $10,000, we put $10,000 worth of GEMCash in there. If it's worth $10,150, we put $10,150 worth of GEMCash encrypted on this chip, okay? How are you going to encrypt the GEMCash and put it and fake this? Because then when somebody owns this and they're sitting home with it, they can see their GEMCash in there. And as the diamond value goes up and the vault value goes up, the GEMCash value also goes up, okay? And if the GEMCash value goes above the value of the diamonds in the vaults, because the vaults will have their own market, then you could literally take the cash out and spend it on your card. So you purchase this, and there's a few other layers of technology, but I'm not going to go into that. So you purchase this, and you paid $1,000 for it today. But these diamonds that we're using for the last 25 years, and I had the research done before I chose the classification of diamonds that we're using, right? They go up an average of 25 to 30% a year for 25 years. So the chances are they're going to keep going up about that much. So if you paid $1,000 for this today and GEMCash didn't go up anything on its own, on its market value, at the end of the year, this would be worth $1,250, plus or minus, okay? Now, the GEMCash has been driven there. But let's say that a lot of people start buying GEMCash. And now the value of the GEMCash that's associated with this vault has gone up above the value of the vault. What happens then is that you can literally take down that amount of value. So if the vault, because of the diamonds, went up to you bought it at 1,000, it went up to 1,250. But the value of the coin in here, the GEMCash in here, went up to $1,500. You can take $250, move it out of here into your app and send it to your card. Your card is another e-wallet, okay? And you can spend it. So the GEMVault is basically like owning a commodity, because it's like gold and silver, it's diamonds, so it's a commodity. It's also like owning stock, because it's going up in value. The GEMCash inside of it is going up in value. So it's also like owning stock. But then it's also like having cash because you can't spend your Apple stock. You can spend your GEMVault. This is very powerful, very powerful. This is much more powerful than you trying to describe to somebody, oh, we have this digital money that's backed by diamonds. It's just backed by diamonds. The U.S. government used to back our money with gold, right? You couldn't go over to some bank or the office of the federal thing and ask for your gold. It was just backed by gold. It's as if I told you guys, listen, I'm going to back this GEMVault with $100 million in property I have in Brazil. What good does that do us if I need to get that? It becomes liquid. So the person can get it. Anybody can get it. And people will actually want to own these. Okay, but that's a different investment than the coin. All right then, so what we're going to do now is we've covered a lot of the technologies. So we're going to go around and we're going to get questions from you. Okay, we're back. We're going to start asking questions. The mic is on, right?
So,
okay, I'm worried about this. Is the new mic we just got. So we're going to have, Sam has a question. Hopefully it's about the GEMVault, but it could be about anything. So you guys have live questions.
Yes, so Sam Asper here again, supervisor, Southern Region of Africa. So somebody who has, let's say, $1 million worth, of GEMCash in his e-wallet, and they want to redeem, very important, redeem the GEMVault, and it's somewhere in Africa that has no rings. How do you transport a GEMVault to them?
Okay, so his question is about how to get GEMVaults to Africa. I don't know. There will be a way, and what we would probably do is if somebody has $1 million worth of GEMCash and they live in Africa, believe me, they have a bank account in the United States or in Europe, and they have a home outside of Africa, okay? But maybe your question is if they have $1,000 and they want to redeem. We will have ways eventually, and if you pay somebody enough, they'll take the stuff there, right? It's expensive. And everybody who's redeeming has to pay the shipping and handling and the insurance. So there is a cost to redeeming it because it's not included. It belongs to you, but you took the GEMCash. You want it back, so we'll just add whatever insurance and shipping costs are involved with getting it to them. So that would be it. Somebody else have a question about it?
I have a question.
Okay.
Michaela, Czech Republic. I have a question about where are the vaults held?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, initially the vaults are going to be held right here in New York City. They're going to be at Brinks in New York. Okay, they get finalized in Miami at a factory that sets fine diamond jewelry, and they make necklaces and beautiful bracelets and rings. They're going to be finalized there because the diamonds are made in Antwerp and Hong Kong. They're cut and polished. Then they're moved to Brinks in New York. The cases are actually made in Portland, Oregon. And then they're moved to Miami. Then the diamonds are moved to Miami after they're certified at GIA here in New York and WRAP here in New York. They're moved to Miami. Once they're assembled, they're moved back to New York to Brinks, and then they're handed over to a trustee, an attorneys group that really controls them. They don't own them, they're trustees, but we don't own them either. And the public sort of doesn't own them either because they're sitting there because they have the GEMCash. So that's where they're kept initially. Eventually, we're going to find duty-free zones all over the world, and they have secure locations where they keep anything from wine to leather goods or whatever's being shipped. And they have insurance, and they do delivery too. So they'll be kept there in duty-free zones. That's so you can actually redeem your GEMVault and not have to pay a VAT, a value-added tax that there are in Europe and in Canada and some other countries. Okay? Another question?
I got a question.
Godfrey.
Again, Godfrey, supervisor for East Africa. So my question is, if you own a GEMVault and you take out the diamonds from the GEMVault, will the value of the GEMCash still be the same?
That's a good question. Okay, if you own a GEMVault, you could literally take out your GEMCash, but only to the value of the vault as we see it. Okay? So beyond that, you can't take it out because that GEMCash is connected digitally to those diamonds. Now, the reason this can all happen, and it's difficult for people to understand unless you understand the blockchain, it's a ledger where everything is kept in everybody's computer at the same time. So anytime somebody's taking money out of here, they're not doing that in their basement. They're doing that for the whole world to see. And it's instantly registered on the thing. So it's not like I can take $500 out and then go sell it to you for the old price. Because you know, because you're also holding the ledger. In your computer, that $500 was taken out. In your app, it's all happening at the same time. It's a weird concept because it's never happened before the blockchain. Okay? So the most you're allowed to take out is if the value of the GEMCash has exceeded the value of the diamonds, okay, which we're all keeping track of. Every day, every GEMVault, whether there's 1,000 or 100 million, we know the value of each diamond in there. And we know how much it went up. So if that value of the coin exceeds the value of the diamonds, you can take it down to the value of the diamonds. You can't take any more because you're not taking it from this box. You're taking it from everybody's ledger, in everybody's computer. It's a very complex topic to understand. You got to stop and write it down and sort of, because it's complex to understand, okay? So, and that's the amount you'll be able to take. Now, once you took those diamonds out, you'd be crazy. Because those diamonds you can't resell. You don't have a certificate. We didn't sell you diamonds, okay? Just like when you buy a bottle of wine, you don't call the vineyard and say, listen, I want my grapes. I paid for the wine, and now it's all squished. Send me some grapes. We're not selling you diamonds. We're selling you a GEMVault. And it comes with a contract that those certificates are sitting in escrow, and they'll always be in escrow. You want to buy a diamond? Go to a jewelry store. This is not a diamond deal. This is not a diamond investment. This is a GEMVault investment. Just like when you bought a bottle of wine, you understood that the grapes are squished, and you can't have your grapes back. These diamonds are squished. They're squished in here. Yes, you can take them out because they haven't been fermented like the wine. So maybe the wine isn't the perfect example, but it's close enough. And you could use them, but you can't resell them. And you can't sue us because we told you that's what you were buying. Okay? And nobody who wants to invest in diamonds would buy a GEMVault. They invest in diamonds. And you know how many people there are? Very few. Very few. Very few people invest in diamonds. Very few. They're all Hasidics. They all live in Tel Aviv. And those are the ones who invest in diamonds. They're not looking for GEMVaults. This is a brand new market that we're opening up. It just happens to have GEMVaults in there. Okay? And that's how I'm going to show you how the person that buys this toy as an investment is like buying a GEMVault. Okay? This toy inside this box is a GEMVault, and this toy is a diamond. After the question, I'm going to do the analogy to end the show. Okay? The person who buys this toy is not buying it for the toy. I'm going to explain that later. How this is a GEMVault. Okay? Any other questions? You've asked one. Alpha, do you have a question?
Yeah, but my question is...
Yeah.
Okay. Alpha Silva, West African manager. My question is I want to take a little bit out of the GEMVault.
No problem.
I want to go about the card.
The card.
Yeah, about the people like in Africa, they want... if they buy, they have $1 million, they bought the card or the GEMVault, they want to transfer the money to, let's say, to Asia, to China or Hong Kong or any other city. So they have to have a GEMVault or the GEMCash or the card.
Okay, let me see if I understand your question. You're asking a question, if they have $1 million in GEMCash and they want to move it somewhere. Now, do they want to move it as GEMCash, or do they want to, when it arrives, they want it to be euros or yens or wons?
Like in Asia or in Hong Kong, they want to have the money in a euro or in dollars.
Okay, so what they would do is this. They would take their GEMCash, and inside of our app, they can connect up with an international digital currency exchange. All a digital currency exchange is this. They take digital money and change it for other digital money, or they change it for fiat money. And anytime you open up an account with them, you have both a digital currency account or a euro account. If they're in the United States, you have a digital currency account and a dollar account. If they're in Asia, you have a digital currency account and a yuan account. Okay? So that's how digital currency exchanges work. So you can use the digital currency exchange we're working with, or you can take your GEMCash from your wallet and move it to another digital currency exchange. And over there, they're going to ask you, do you want to keep it in GEMCash, or do you want to transfer it to wands? Or do you want to transfer it to euros? And that's how you move the money. And that's your account with them. We don't get involved with all that stuff. We put the coin out there, we back it, we support it as a community, and then you do with your coin what you do with your coin. The people buying the coin, by the time they're buying the coin, they know all this, okay? The Africans who don't know this are not going to be buying the coin the way you think they are. They're going to show up to a local store, okay? I'm sorry. An American African or a European African is going to show up to a local store, give his money, collect some GEMCash electronically, put it on his card, and send it home. They're going to get it at home on their card. They're going to go to the local guy on the corner who's selling the loose cigarettes, who's selling the top-up minutes, top-up, you know about top-up, the top-up minutes, or the guy who's selling dollars, or the guy who's selling euros, and he's going to say, I have GEMCash in the guy. Thank God. Come on, give it to me. How much? Oh, they sent me $100 worth. For $100 worth, I'll give you $110 worth of guineas. Because he wants that GEMCash. Because GEMCash is the fastest way to get your hands on dollars. Now you're saying, no, there's a faster way. He can exchange guineas for dollars. That's not a faster way. That's a way to get your hands on physical dollars. That's not what rich Africans and African corporations and African banks want. They don't want dollars. They want dollars in the US. They want dollars in Europe. Because once you have the dollars, it's a pile of paper. And you can't move it out of the country. You're going to get stopped at that airport. And you're going to be arrested. Okay? This is much more important than having dollars or euros. Having GEMCash is everything to an African. They don't know it yet, but they will know it. I designed this coin from the bush up. Not from a skyscraper here in Manhattan down. I know the reality. I know how it can work. I know why it will work. I know their necessities. So as I was in the bush watching what's going on, I designed this. I didn't sit here Googling what are Africans going through? What are Indians going? What are South Americans going through in Venezuela? I didn't design it like that. I designed it from the ground up, not from the tower down. So that's why it will work. Okay then. So I'm going to finish the show so it doesn't go on too long. That's a problem. I talk too much. And I'm going to finish with a segment that we call the analogy. Now, here's our hats again. Now you guys get to see the hats. Touch them. How nice. Huh? It's all leather. Okay, so we're going to do our analogy segment. Okay. Turns out I've become very proficient at making comparisons, right? So we're going to compare always at the end of the show something in the real world with what we're doing in the digital world, okay? So today I'm going to compare how this Star Wars toy that cost me $10, okay, is just like this GEMVault here. And the toy inside is just like the diamonds, and the box is just like the vault, okay? And to do that, and let me point something out. When I was 10 years old, 40 years ago, I watched Star Wars for the first time 3 blocks away from here. I went with my rich aunt. She had a lot of money. When the movie was over, we went out and she bought me a toy like this. It was a male character. This is a female character, okay? And she bought me a toy like this. And at the time, I remember it cost about $6, okay? But this is 40 years ago, okay? I took the toy home. She gave me the receipt. I threw the receipt in the garbage immediately. What the hell do I need with a receipt? I'm a 10-year-old, okay? So I threw the receipt in the garbage, okay? And then I took the toy and I ripped the box apart. I started playing with the toy. I'm 10 years old. I'm playing with Luke Skywalker, okay? Now, had I kept that receipt that I threw in the garbage, had I kept that box, paper box, and had I never touched Luke Skywalker inside, today that toy would be worth $5,000. From $5 to $5,000. Okay? And not 40 years later. It was worth $5,000 about 20 years ago. Okay? Now, the analogy is this. How is this plastic box and paper with a plastic toy and a receipt for $10 the same as a GEMVault? Look, This receipt here is the GIA certificate. Okay? Without this receipt, this drops from $5,000 to about $1,000. Okay? If you take the toy out of the box, that toy drops down to $500 because you played with it. It's still worth something. So, if you keep your receipt, your GIA certificate, and you keep your diamonds inside your box, your Star Wars box, your vault, and you keep your diamonds in there, because this toy with this box untouched and this receipt, you can sell on eBay today, immediately. Hundreds, if not thousands of people will pay you $5,000 for the toy if it's in the box and it's from 1977, like my toy was. And this in 40 years may be worth a lot. I don't know. That's not the point. The point is the moment you take the diamonds out of here, they're only worth a little bit more. They're only worth what the diamond was. Just like the toy is only worth what the toy was. If you keep the toy and the box and the receipt, you have your GEMVault and your diamonds and your certificate. Very easy to sell. You take the diamonds out, very difficult to sell. Think of you having a $10,000 diamond at home right now, and tomorrow you have to sell it. Now, you live in New York. You have access to 47th Street, but good luck. Good luck. And your $10,000 diamond, you'd be lucky to get $3,000 on it. Oh, yeah. Good luck. And you live in Manhattan, and you live on 47th Street. Now, imagine if you lived in Ohio somewhere, or in Guinea Conakry somewhere. What good is that diamond to you? Okay? And then, to sell that diamond, just like to sell this toy, you got to make sure it's an original toy. You got to make sure it's an original diamond. You got to spend money. You got to make sure you didn't forge the receipt. Now, if you have the receipt, the box, and the toy, people get it. You have all of it. But if you only have the toy, only the toy and the box, only the receipt and the toy, it's much more difficult. And that's the point behind GEMVault. That's the point behind GEMVault. Okay? So, okay, thank you, everybody. This has been our third episode. We focused in on the GEMVault, and we came to you live from New York City with all our team members who we were fortunate enough to be in town, from the Czech Republic, from Trinidad, from Switzerland. Everybody was lucky to be in town. So we're signing off until the next episode. This was GEMCash Alive. Thank you.